How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. And how are you? How's your day?
Thank you so much. I'm good. Uh, Today it's very quiet day, as for me,
Very
because
quiet day?
I'm now at home. Yeah,
Oh, okay. No flying today?
I have one today, but it's just for training.
Okay. Um, so firstly, Yellowtail29, as you're known on Instagram, online, I just want to thank you so much for coming and joining me on here. I do really appreciate your time, and it's an incredible thing to have. So firstly, thank you and welcome.
Thank you too for joining. I am very appreciated. I want to. I saw your YouTube channel when you was in Kharkiv. I very impressed, and I it was my decision to give you the conversation and give you this interview. Thank you so much, Sam.
Oh, no, I appreciate it so much. So, firstly, I just want to go back to how you got into flying and how you got specifically into then flying fighter jets. So, where did this all start?
It was when I was a child. I saw the airplanes like all the pilots. It's like a same story about all the pilots. You see the airplanes, you want it, and after that you're interested how do you can do this. And on my flat near the um, airway of the civil aviation, I saw it, and in the Kharkiv region, I saw the after the 11th class, I saw the Kharkiv University of Air Kazhedub, Air Force. I called them and said how much cost it. They said it's free for because it's from military. I say okay, and I have a lot of checks between medical checks in my town, after that on the university, psychological test, physical check, and I am entering to the Kharkiv Air Force University, which takes name Ivan Kazhedub, and I'm studied then 4 years, like a cadet.
Yes. And then I guess you graduate and you're flying MiG 29s.
Yeah. I go to the one of the brigades in the Ukraine, and it was in the Kyiv region, and fly from first year during the 5 years.
That's incredible. And how has your job changed from before the war to now in the war, and how's the flying changed?
Okay, first of all, when I was a military, I served only 5 years. After that, I'm retired, and I had my civil pilot license. I to teach the people to fly in little aircrafts, like a PPL and CPL course. And when it started, and 24th, I took my family, go to the west of Ukraine, to be in a safe place. And after that, I took all my documents. I go to the brigade. Maybe from the March, I started to fly. How it's changed? All the lives of Ukraine war has changed. It's when you fly only from training, you know you will just survive. Only technical reasons or some like environment reasons like a bird strike can damage your aircraft. But today, you have the missile attack, you have Shahid attack, you has the opposite side pilots who has modern aircraft than we have. The game is changed.
Yes. And how often are you flying against Russian pilots in aircraft in like a dogfight scenario?
Okay, now how often? I flew more than 60 flights during these 8 months. But we have only one on this history war, only one dogfight. You saw it in the
Right.
internet when the MiG-29 uh, shot down the Sukhoi, Russian aircraft. Another thing, we have only a long-range fight now, only this one. We don't have the meet each other less than 50 or 40 kilometers between us, because now the game, I said once, it's changing. They flew much clever, we flew much clever. They are, as aviation, they are very good and strong opponent,
Yes.
because
So in your
they
experience,
they have
oh, sorry.
their experience, and they have a modern the aircraft. If we have the same aircrafts, I I definitely truly understood the war will be ended of this day. Or we
Yes.
have much more modern aircraft. We every time on the political, on the mass media, on the internet, we asked for the new aircraft like a F-16.
Yes. And what would that enable you to do? How different, as someone who's not a pilot and especially not a fighter pilot, how different is a MiG-29 to something like an F-16?
It's a big difference. You know, the modern
Yes.
F-16, it's the modern F-16 about the equipment, about the avionic, about the communication, about the sign, about the missiles. It's very big difference between. If we compare the cars, you know, for the flight, MiG-29 is very good, the structural. The speeds, for example, F-16 and MiG-29, the same. We flew 800 kilometers, 1000 kilometers. The F-16 the same. We can flew 100, 1500 kilometers per hour. The F-16 has the same. But the technical ranges for shoot the missile, the F-16 has maybe multiply 2.5 from this reason.
Okay.
It's much better. It's like compare the cars like old Audi and new Audi, like this. I don't know.
Yes. Yes. And is an F-16 better than anything the Russians have
Yes, of course.
at their
The
disposal?
Nash, yeah, of course. I'm sorry. The Russian propaganda state they have this type of characteristic, but we saw in this war they haven't. For example, they can have said they have 100 kilometer, divide to 50 maximum. I don't say about the
Hmm.
rockets or any car. It's just example. They lie for technical reason. They lie. This is just propaganda.
Yes. And the Russians don't have any of their stealth capability in like the Su-57s?
It doesn't matter. So, Su-57 like maneuverable one airplane, but we don't need this maneuverable. We don't have the dogfight. If we close each other to dogfight, yes, it's very important thing. But we have only long range fighters. Who
Yes.
has more good weapon to shoot? It Who will win? That's it. You don't need the dogfights when you come to the back and other things. This is not that game. This is not World War II or another things. This is only
Mm.
technical war. Who has more modern equipment, that will win. That's it. You can't imagine you have
Yeah.
the only automatical weapon and you have only like a simple weapon. Yeah, automatical weapon will be win. That's it.
Yes. And can you explain to us what it's like flying a fighter jet in a combat scenario? Like at the moment, when you step off from that base on a mission, can you sort of explain what that's like?
Okay, first flight. I will display the first flight because it's much important. Because you have like nervous fear before the flight. You cannot understand what will expect you all think. You don't want to die. But when you sit on the airplane, the cockpit is closed and you starting up your engine, the fear is gone. And you know what you have in your scale. Because our Ukrainians life, because if you cannot catch the missile or rocket, which has flown from Russian territory to us more than 2,000 kilometers from Tupolev aircraft, and you can cut it, you understand this missile will drop on the buildings, on the road, on the electricity system, and you understand how much um, important your task because you are saved the our Ukrainians' life from the children to the older men or women.
Yes. And those
But
missions, are they primarily shooting down rockets?
yeah,
Mm.
for example, I shot down one
And
rocket
yeah,
and one Shahid.
yes. And what's going through your head as you take off the runway and, you know, go wheels up? Are you
Yeah.
staying low from the radar signatures? Are you worried about like S-400 rocket systems?
When we same one more time, please. The last part of time, please.
So what's going through your head when you take off from the runway, like wheels up? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about, you know, staying beneath the radar and away from like the S-400 rocket systems, or how does that look?
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, we prepared it. We know all the system where is it correctly places the Russian system, like a C-300 or C-400 or another things anti-airplane rockets. And we carefully prepared for our task. If we see the task is will be done, we do this. If we see the task very extremely to cannot be made it or successful, we don't do this because we understand this is long range war. After the takeoff, you don't have anything about your head, about the nervous and other things. You only make like a robot and step by step to make your task. That's it.
Yes. Have you had any close calls? Have you had like missiles, I guess, after you and like any close calls while up there?
Okay, what I had, I not count, but I had few rockets which has flown on my back because when we support another our ground aircrafts like ground attack aircraft Sukhoi 25, the Russian stayed above and shoot their rocket 77 Air 77 to our side. But our dispatcher, our navigator said we have the rocket shoot and we go to the back and they don't shoot us. But couldn't say they haven't the success shooting, but they have from 100 missiles, then they have only maybe 3 or 5% of success.
Yes.
It wasn't.
And have you had any of your friends who have been shot down?
Yeah, I have one. I have one.
That's, yeah.
It's said, yeah. When you sit in the morning,
Yeah.
you prepare it, and after that 1 hours, he was shot down, and day after day you only took his clothes and mail to his parents, and you understand his life is ended. You have very pressure on you, and you understand what happened can you with you, because the death much closer for pilots. I couldn't say the pilots more difficult profession like now troops or soldiers, but it's difficult.
Yes. And what do people need to do to continue supporting pilots like yourself? Is there anything you need?
First of all, we need the new airplanes. I know this is like a political question, but without the voice, without all the people, political nothings. You know, we need to close the sky under the Ukraine because it's much important. It's not war between pilot to pilot. You know, let's make the only dogfight between us. That's it. But they destroyed our buildings. You know what they do with Kharkiv, what they do with Mariupol, what they do with Kyiv, all the Ukraine. The first day they shoot all the airports around the Ukraine, all the airports, Borispol airport, civil international airport, Kharkiv airport, Chuguyev destroyed one, a lot of destroyed airplane. And what we need, the new weapon, to not be tired to support Ukraine because it's very important for now. I understand if you have the news every day about the Ukraine, you can have the tired, but it's not like a simple news. This is war. If we lose, they will come to the Europe 100%.
Yes. What do you think the media gets wrong about Ukraine?
Say one more time, please. What?
What is it that you think the media, like the mainstream media, gets wrong about Ukraine?
Ukrainian media or Russian media? Or all the medias?
Well, all the media. Like, what are some common misconceptions?
Misconception? No, you know, from Russian side, this is propaganda 100%. They can cover it up to down every information. From Ukrainian media, I would say sometimes, as for me, the like good shooting or good results much higher, a little bit but higher. But they shouldn't say like this because we should understood the clear information.
Yes. No, I understand. And where do you see your job being a fighter pilot changing in the next few months as winter comes in? Are these planes able to fly in severely bad cold weather?
The weather will always change the strategy and always change the regularity and from the pilot from the flights, because if we don't have the weather we will didn't fly. The Russians the same. If they have the some thunderstorm, they didn't fly. The sky is clear. But in the winter,
And have you had?
yeah,
Sorry,
tell
you
me.
go.
No. But in the winter we
Oh
have
no,
the
can you?
pretty normal weather for the flying. Much better than the on the summer, because the air much cooler and this is much uh, pretty good for the airplane.
Yes. Have you spoken to over radio or face to face with any Russian pilots?
No, no, never. I saw the radio I hear on the internet the radio communication between the Russian and how they wish pleasure to push the button to rocket has target and other things, but like a face to face, I don't speak them. I have the few cadets who, when I graduated, they go to the when the Crimea was occupied from Russia, they served in the Bilbek, and they still uh, continue to serve to the Russian army, but we're not connected with them.
Yes. And what would it take to close the airspace over Ukraine?
One more time, please, Willie.
The popular saying of close the air or the airspace over Ukraine, what would it actually take to be able to do that?
What we need to close it to the space in the Ukraine.
Yeah, to stop the Russian like jets coming and the Russian missiles.
Okay, this is simple.
Is
We need
Ukraine able to do that? Yeah.
yeah, we can do it. The modern uh, anti-air system, that's it. And the new airplane, like F-16, it can make the ground attack and the air attack. I think from the Ukraine, maybe I am wrong. Maybe 20 F-16 from five each south, east, west, and anti cover all the like a shield under the Ukraine. It's a very difficult task, but cover the main like the main ways, the main direction from the Russian camp. This is important one. I think we need. I couldn't say how much we need it, but for us, the anti system for anti-air system and and aircrafts will be very good for us, and it will be changed all the game.
Yes.
Without supporting the air, the ground forces cannot move without support of the air. If we want the air, we will want the everything.
Yes. I was one of your MiG-29s, and it may have been you. Scared me very much. I was in Kramatorsk at one point, and a Ukrainian MiG-29 came over the top of me incredibly low, and you better than anyone know how loud those aircraft are. And it gave me the fright of my life, but I was very glad to see that it was a Ukrainian one. Can you give us any insight on the very popular tale about the ghost of Kiev?
Mhm. Okay, this is not only one person. We can say about maybe I will not tell his name. He flew more than other pilots, but this is like all pilots who fly on the Kyiv or Zhytomyr state. This is like a all the this is um, Ghost of Kiev is just not one person. It's all the pilot from the Kiev and Zhytomyr region, or others place who fly under the Kiev. That's it. This is not was the one person. This was the two brigades.
Okay, okay. And is there any other events that have taken part in your flying that stand out to you, or any stories?
Uh, any stories? Incredible aviation story you have heard is about the helicopters which took the person on the Azov. You heard this or no?
Maybe, but can you say it again? Maybe.
Yeah, okay, I will. The helicopters from Ukraine go to the Azovstal in the center of the Stal and took all the, no, not a lot, all of them, the the people, a lot of people to rescue. We have this story about the man who has the wife on the Azovstal and his helicopters, and he go with the helicopters and save his wife from that. And they go on the night with night goggles. The rockets shoot them. The one of the engines. It was a very impressive story, and it's true story about the helicopters in the Ukraine. How they pass
That's incredible.
how they pass all the troops, how they pass all the anti-air system. It's like a movie, and they rescue a lot of
And
uh, humans on the from the Azovstal.
it's incredible. And how is the Ukrainian Air Force holding up?
Pretty well, we lose the first round, yeah, from the 24th of February, but we win another round, another matches, because the technical the with normal um, like it's normal, but it's not pretty good. It's not to have a lot of damage or some technical problems with our planes. We have a lot of tasks, and we do this. I can talk about the air forces. We uh, pretty much good on this war, but it's not enough. We can protect, but we can shoot a lot of. The I said one more time, we need another airplanes to win this game. How much faster they came, the war will be ended. We will close the sky. The troops cannot go. We will destroy all the troops on the ground. That's it. We only need the new airplanes and new anti-air system. That's it. My
Hmm.
prediction, if we have such
Do
one
you
F-16,
believe? Yeah,
yeah, 2 months and
sorry, continue with your
this
prediction.
war, yeah, I think, only my opinion, if we have F-16, the modern one, and we have the anti-air systems, the maybe 2 or 3 months, the war will be end.
Do you believe that you will survive this war if those F-16s don't arrive?
If they don't arrive,
Yes.
um, I think yes, because I make the reason because I know this. The Russian propaganda, they said they have a lot of weapon, yeah? Tell me one question, answer for one question. If they have a lot of missiles and other things, they will buy the Iran drones? Definitely no.
Mm, yes. Well, Yellowtail 29, is there anything else you'd like to share with myself and my viewers?
Um, First of all, thank you so much for supporting Ukraine. Uh, the every voice, every dollar, or everything, or every tweet to supporting Ukraine is very important. Because without the supporting, without the helping, without the financing of this war to helping Ukraine, we we will win, but it will be way harder for us. But now all the world they support Ukraine. Thank you all the views, and thank you one more time.
Just and myself, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and honestly, you're a hero of mine. I wouldn't have the ability or the nerve to be able to do what you do at such a high at a high rate. So you're a hero of mine, Dakuyo, and thank you very much.
Okay, I will talk about the Russian pilots. If we took the simple soldiers, which have the story about the military took them about the Russian side, took them, put on the bus, and after the 10 or 1 day they came to the Ukraine and they don't understand what they do here. It might be true, but from the military pilots, except military pilots, they understood everything because the military pilot preparing um, not 5 minutes. He prepared maybe 1 day or few hours to task. And when he said he only work on the coordinate and he don't know what in this coordinate and he will shoot this rocket, he's lie. Because every time he can open the Google Earth and saw this coordinated. They motivated only three things. This is money motivation, this is respect or like a medal motivation, and they count all the missiles what they shoot on the Ukraine. They can shoot the mall, the supermarket, it doesn't care. They like it what they do. This is very different between um, Russian pilots. They know accurate what they do every time, except the fighters or bombers. They know which village near this, and for example, the Tupolev aircraft. They shoot down the rocket which flew 2,000 kilometers and shoot them all, for example. with 1,000 people, and this is they all should sit on the jail. That's it. This is what about the Russian pilots. Thank you so much.